Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we talking about the Bears, obviously, and the free agency. So let's get right into it. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty. I am going to apologize. I was wrong. I think that's what all the comments around the internet and around my last video wanted me to say. And trust, I get way more comments than what's on the video, because if I post them on social media, people don't watch it at all and they just start talking. So whatever. But apparently I was wrong. The word tanking was too much for everybody. It was too much for everybody that I said the Bears were going to tank. Now, let me be clear, I'm being facetious. I don't care if you feel that way. Whatever. It's a issue of semantics and what you deem the word tanking to be. But the message, if you actually listen to it, it was very clear. You know what I was saying. And so, again, the idea of tanking in the NFL is not the same as the NBA. This idea, first of all, somebody was saying to me, and a couple people was like, we're not tanking, we're not giving up. Tanking is when you just give up and you just blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, please explain to me, why do you tank? Because someone's like, we're not tanking, we're not giving up. We're just putting ourselves in position to build up the assets in the team. Please tell me why you tank. Because last I checked, you tank to build up assets to make your team better. So how is that different from what I was saying? The point of the matter is that, and forget all the craziness. Like, this is the craziest offseason. I'll be talking about that in the episode of NFL News coming up. This is the craziest offseason. But you take away all the blockbuster trades. You still look at what people are doing. Not even just, a lot of what they're doing. It's a little bit of that. But you look at what we're doing in comparison, and you cannot tell me that we are gearing up to compete. You can't convince me of it. And so you throw in the crazy trades and whatnot, and there's even more. So nowhere in the last episode did I say we had to break the bank on anybody, and I'm definitely not saying now we had to do a blockbuster trade. But those are clear indications of where the direction is for the team. If you're the Falcons and you trade your long-time starting quarterback with no quarterback coming back in right now, that's a clear direction of what you're doing with the team. When you're the Browns and you give up that many first-round picks to bring in a quarterback, that's a clear direction of the team. So when we talk about not only the people we didn't get, and again, we didn't need to break the bank. There's still quality guys now that would really fill some talent gaps that we have. And then, of course, there were many talented people that we didn't even pursue. And so there's that. But then you talk about the people we did get. And here's what I'm confused about. Because some people try to flip this argument. You don't know what you're talking about. We got quality young guys that are going to give us production and they're going to be great and this and that. Okay, why does everybody have a 1-year deal or 2-year deal? If they are so great and we got these diamonds in the rough that are going to be part of the plan, why are they on 1-year deals? Somebody please tell me that. Last I checked, you want a player of quality on a long-term contract, don't you? So if the Bears really thought Byron Pringle was going to be our long-time, or long-term answer stud receiver, I think we would have went for more than 1 year. And I also think some other teams probably would have wanted him. Maybe the team that had him. And the same with Equanimous St. Brown, a 1-year deal. And Al Aquadin Muhammad, whatever, the articles I saw were ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous. this idea that, he's the next great pass rusher. And I saw everybody saying he's going to replace Khalil. Please stop. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. He's a veteran presence that is from Eberflus's crop and understands the philosophy, and they're going to bring him in for that. He's on a 2-year deal, people. The money speaks. The money speaks. So this idea, and granted, there's some people that spend money just to spend money. But really, especially this offseason, what we've actually seen outside of Christian Kirk is that people are going to pay the stars. The people that are breaking the bank are getting broke off because of what they can do. So this idea that we're signing guys to a 1 and 2 year contract, guys that people did not want, and there was better talent at the same position, signifies that we're gearing up to compete this year is ridiculous. And I won't even go hard on you. It's hard to believe. I'll say that. To put it nicely, it would be hard for you to convince me that it's actual moves that we're looking to go all in and compete. So I don't care what you call it. You could call, I believe I said this in the last episode. You could call it tanking. You could call it a rebuild. You could call it a retool. You could call it a reflip. You could call it a refry. You could call it competing for the Super Bowl. The fact of the matter is, what we're doing is we're taking on small money, small time players that we won't be on the hook for long in hopes to put out a team that will get us some draft capital and restock with young players in this draft and next, and also have cap space to go after veterans. And so, yes, especially now, I wouldn't say especially now, but the division, it could be something. I do think the Lions are going to be a lot more talented this year and take a step. Vikings, they're more than likely around what they were. They added Zadarius Smith, not too scared about that. And then the Packers lost Devontae Adams. So it's not that our division is weak. So it's not that we couldn't potentially fight for something. But here's my question to all these people. If the Bears, with all the talent that we just let go, that we previously had, with an established staff, as bad as you might say they are, if we were in the playoffs after winning the division and couldn't pull off a game, if we went back to the playoffs in the last made-up seed that they added and we saw how we played, if that's all true, what do you think we're going to do now? What do you think this team would look like now? I am trying to understand where's this upgrade we're talking about. Obviously, we had Trubisky back in those times. We got Fields. Fields didn't look great last year. And so it's not to say what Fields is going to do this year. He could be good, but he's not going to put this team on his back. That is the scenario that is least likely. And so even with him improving, where's this upgrade that everybody is seeming to be convinced we have? And so I think there's some people in one camp that were just a little confused and hurt by the word I used. And then there's another camp that's a little optimistic, I'll call them, and seem to think that it's ridiculous to suggest that we won't be competing. And so the idea that the team is going to go out and just lay down is ridiculous. No one ever said that. I'm talking about how we're building the team. As I said, in football, you can't tank like the NBA. People will get hurt. It's too obvious, and it's too hard to get 22 people to do that when their reputation is on the line, and a brand new coaching staff when their reputation is on. I'm not saying we're going to go out there and not play football, but the clear indication is Ryan Poles is not building a roster right now to compete. And yes, obviously any young person with opportunity could show you something, but to think that the plan is really that, oh, Byron Pringle and Anquanonymous St. Brown are going to break out, and all these other, random middle of the road players, they're just going to really pop and be our cornerstone people. No, they're not. And that's not the plan. The plan right now is maybe they could give us some production, maybe not. Either way, we don't care. That's what the plan is. And that's all I've been saying. And obviously, we've seen now over a few more weeks, look at where we are. Look at where we are. So if you still feel like the Bears have been loading up, then God bless you. That's all I can say. So I'm just trying to get people ready for the reality of the season. And I know over the whole Nagy era and everything, I know, trust me, people don't like actually hearing the truth. But for those that listen, and those that, know I know what I'm talking about, I'm just trying to tell you what to get ready for, man. It's going to be a rough one. I am done with the draft stuff as far as the evaluation. So now it's an analysis phase, but pretty much, what's the word I'm looking for? Finalizing things over the next few weeks before the draft, but I'm going to start putting out a lot more Bears draft content. So tell me what you want to hear, what questions you got as I start really diving into my thoughts on this class. So go to the comment section, let me know that. So that's it for me. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think about the Bears offseason. Spread it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe. And remember, stay up and bear down.